Hello amphibian lovers, this is Amphibian Boss here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to set up an American toad tank. This is for many terrestrial toads, such as American toads, Fowler's toads, any of those toads you can actually find in the pet trade that like to burrow, some spadefoot toads and other things that like sometimes a drier terrarium, not a very wet terrarium, a drier terrarium and like to burrow a little bit into the dirt. This also does work for some salamanders, but not usually, in some lizards maybe, but mostly for toads because salamanders like it a lot moister. So what we want to do first, and actually here I have some recycled dirt, and this is up on my desk because it's better lighting here. This is some recycled dirt from the old cage, but it's perfectly good dirt. I just pulled out the poop and the insect remnants, and it should be quite good. So this is the old cage, putting it into the new cage that is more viewable, better view. So I'll come back when I'm done putting dirt. The stuff's quite dirty, and depending on the texture of your soil, my soil is quite dry, and you want it to be quite dry, but it does help to mist just a little bit. I don't have a lot of water here, do I? Okay, I don't have a lot of water, but it does help to moisten the soil just a bit, because it can be quite messy and it's easier to work with just a little bit when it's a tad bit wet. But I will moisten that down just a bit more later on. So what you want to do is get some hides. I have this coconut hide here that I made a bunch of them, and I might as well use them. Doesn't really suit the habitat he lives in the wild, but gives him somewhere to hide. And then some little hiding places there. So you always want some kind of hiding place for your animals to live in, especially toads when they do get stressed out, but they are diurnal and nocturnal most of the time. They do a lot of walking around, hanging out, looking for food. So there's some plants also. It also provides a little place for them to hide. Since this is a dry climate, you don't really want to keep a lot of moss or anything that's going to soak up a lot of moisture, but they do require some moisture. So another good thing to have, actually you should always have, is a water dish, and I'm going to redo this setup just a bit so I can put this water dish in a separate spot. Okay, back. Now, to mention, this isn't very large terrarium, you can probably see. This would work great for a planted terrarium, and that was my plan, but I did want something that I could view a lot for my toad, and I kind of like him in the tank. I had him in the start, but I do like this tank. I haven't really used it at all after I built it. This is a home-built plexiglass terrarium. It doesn't work well with water, but works quite well in a terrestrial setup like this. I don't have a lid for it yet, as you can see. I'm using a plastic bin container. I may not use a lid at all because it does have lips, and the lips will keep the toad from jumping out. Hopefully I'll be hand feeding crickets in, so nothing will really climb out. So it shouldn't really need a lid. So basically this is it. Just a water dish, dirt, not even a drainage layer because it's so dry that you don't even need the water. Lots of plants and a hide in the side here, just a piece of cork bark with a rock, and you can hide underneath there. And then this here, I didn't really want to use that coconut. Not really his habitat. These have coconut. Fill the water dish up. Fill it right up. Nope, they do like to sit in the water dish once in a while. Use a shallow water dish. I find these terracotta dishes work quite well, and they are appealing to the eye also. They aren't ugly water dishes, and they last long unless you drop one. I believe I dropped one on the ground. Sure, I dropped one on the ground once and it made a mess. They do make a mess if you drop them, but they are nice little things to add into your tank. And if you can find the cheap plastic ones, you can, but cheap plastic one or the ones at the pet store can be a little more expensive. These you can get a pack of them for $2. You can get 3 of them for $2, so it's quite nice. So there's water, lots of dirt for them to burrow in. I might add a little bit more dirt, but give them at least an inch of water, inch of dirt. That's what I gave this guy, and I'll mist it down for him. And I will show you where I'm putting him, and show you me putting my toad into the tank. He's kind of squirmy, probably gonna pee on me, but there you go. And make a note that this is a wild-caught species where I live. You can't see him; he's climbing around in there right now. I took him out of the wild because he was in one of my window wells. If you haven't already watched my toad rescue, consider watching it, and I can put the link in the description below. I've been saving these toads. This one wasn't in super critical condition, but he was missing all the toes on his one foot. I've been keeping him as kind of a study project, I'm kind of gonna say, and also kind of keeping him, he should be fine if he's in the wild, but he is kind of a study project for me. I'm not gonna put him on the table and cut him open or anything, but if anyone, I need to ask someone who's an amphibian specialist about this and show it to him or that person. I would love to do that, and then I can let him go after that to see what problem there is with this toad. I don't know if it's chytrid fungus for his foot, or if it's something poison or a chemical that was in the field on my lawn that could actually hurt the toad, or if he lost them in an accident, something bit them off, another toad, deformity in the birth maybe. I'm just wondering what could have happened, and would like to ask someone in the area about that. Not asking you guys any, if you guys can give me an explanation, sure, but I'll ask someone in my area. Well, that's basically it. If you have an American toad for a pet and you got it at the pet store and it's captive bred, that is awesome. If you have bought a different kind of toad at the pet store, spadefoot toads, toads such as the American toad, just some bumpy cliche toads. Basically it. So this is basically the little setup. If you have more than one, probably have at least a 10-gallon tank. This is around 5 gallons, 4 or 5 gallons. They don't need a lot of space, but you can give them a little extra space. If you want a care video for these kinds of toads, just put some in the give me some likes and give me a comment, or call me up on YouTube and ask for it, and I will give it. So that's basically it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope this wasn't too long. Peace.